New York police officers may be given a sharp rap over the knuckles for allegedly heavy-handed tactics against Occupy Wall Street protesters. And it's this video, let's take a look, that was taped last Friday that gave ground for one of the inquiries. The officer, thought to be a deputy inspector, was filmed grabbing an activist from behind, punching him in the face and knocking him to the ground. Well, an independent agency that deals with complaints against New York's police says it also is looking into an officer using pepper spray on peaceful female protesters. The campaign against big business and banking in the U.S. has entered its 5th week. And as RT's Lucy Koffanov reports, the movement is becoming more and more popular.
Well, I'm here in Zuccotti Park, Liberty Plaza, as it's been dubbed by the Occupy Wall Street protest movement here in New York City. This was the scene of thousands of demonstrators who had converged over the weekend to show their support for what they called an International Day of Rage that saw occupations and demonstrations spread not only across the United States but across the world. Thousands had converged in Times Square, where they were peacefully demonstrating, only to be met with an unprecedented show of force by the New York City Police Department. Approximately 90 protesters were arrested for partaking in those demonstrations. We also saw instances of police officers on horseback riding into the crowd, police officers on scooters injuring several protesters who had gathered peacefully. As the demonstrations grow across the country, it does appear that the police response is growing in force as well. On Monday morning, we saw in Seattle a total of about 9 protesters arrested after about 250 of them refused to take down their tents in the occupation there. Over the weekend, we also saw the arrests of more than 100 protesters in Arizona in 2 separate Occupy Wall Street demonstrations, and in Chicago as well, where thousands had gathered to demonstrate their support for what they call a movement against the perceived corruption in Washington and in Wall Street. About 175 demonstrators arrested there as well. Despite the fact that it's a weekday, despite the fact that folks have work to go to, the movement does seem to be spreading. Whether or not it's going to have any effect on the political and economic system in the United States remains to be seen, but the numbers continue to grow. For RT, I'm Lucy Koffanov in New York.